Yeah. And why also Hanuman only comes to our dream? Why not also on our dream?
Now you are becoming jealous, Rasaraj Prabhu.
Yes, I'm always jealous, Prabhu. I'm always jealous.
No, no, no. It's good to be jealous in Krishna conscious way, okay?
Babuji,
But
there's
not,
a flood in the
yes.
temple. There's a flood in the
You
temple.
said?
There's a
Yeah, there
flood in
was
the temple.
flooding.
Oh my goodness. But the deities are
Yes,
safe.
yes. Sure. They are the ones saving us. So we should not worry about whether they are safe. They are the one going to save us. Okay, so we have to start because we already were online, okay? Oh my Gyana Timirandasya Gyanandana Shalakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitam Cha Namaste Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyacha kripasindubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So thank you for coming. Today, I don't know, maybe some devotees, they may be having challenges because of this constant rain and network, internet, and some of them also in the temple, try to bail out the water in the temple. So we just have to continue. Okay. So yesterday, can somebody remind us what we did? Please, quickly. What is reminding us?
Yes, Prabhu, we discussed about chapter 2
Okay.
with regards to Arjuna's compassion to the other party, the Kauravas. And Prabhupada gave the example of the dress of a drowning man is senseless. And then we also discuss about the three aspects of uh, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan,
Okay.
and also the importance of surrendering to a spiritual master, as Prabhupada explained in text 6, chapter 2.
Verse 7.
Oh, text 7, yes.
And I remember I said we should memorize the verse 7. So how many of us have memorized it so that you can get your virtual biscuit? How many of us have memorized the chapter verse 7? I'm really going to give virtual biscuits. And this biscuit is full with, what would I call it? Okay, don't let me talk too much. Okay, but it's a special one. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, from test 1 to 10 is titled Arjuna Surrenders. As Arjuna was confused, he was indecisive, what to do, whether he should fight or he should not fight, he was confused. Then he said, Krishna, I don't know what to do. Please instruct me. Because he was perplexed. He doesn't know whether he should fight or he should not fight. Then test 8. Let's continue from test 8, actually. From test 8, it's the continuation of discourse of this Arjuna speech. Okay. Nai paprasyami mama panodyad. Can you see my screen? No.
No, bro.
Okay. I have to share it in a way that you can see my screen, not me. Nai praprasyami mama panodyad. Yaksho kamuchao chanamindriyanam. Avapya bhumava sapatnam redam. Rajyam suranam api shadipatyam. Okay, that is how to read the long shlokas. It's very sweet, isn't it? So when you come across long shlokas, you want to read them, that is how to recite them. Nai prapashyami mama panodyad. Yaksho kamucho shanam indriyanam. Avapya bhumava sapatnam redam. Rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. Translation. I can find no means to take away this grief. Able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, with sovereignty like the demigod in heaven. So we can see to the extent of Arjuna's perplexity. Okay, even if I win this war, still Krishna will not be happy. So actually, if Krishna have not spoken Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, even if Arjuna have fought in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and won the war, he will not be happy. So he needed this knowledge seriously. That is what he's telling Krishna here after surrendering. Krishna, I will not be able to dispel, even if I win a prosperous or rival kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Even if I win this war, still Krishna, these miseries that have come up in my mind, the dilemma, whether I should fight or not, is disturbing me. So please, I need your instruction. I'm your student now. Please guide me. Okay? So once we come to this level of surrendering to Guru, we have to be ready to follow the instruction of the Guru. Not like many of us. When we surrender to Guru, when our Guru asks us to do something, we say, Guru Maharaj, I remember my Guru Maharaj one time was saying, one of his disciples wrote him, Guru Maharaj, please, I need your blessing. I can only be able to keep one. Please, I need your blessing, Maharaj. Just imagine, a disciple is writing his Guru that, Maharaj, please give me your blessing. I can only follow 3. I will not be able to follow 1. What kind of a disciple is that? You can imagine. You know the one I'm trying to tell you that you will not be able to keep. You understand what I mean? So he's telling his Guru, I will be able to keep 3 of the regulative principles, but 1, Maharaj, I will not be able to keep them. Please keep it. Please give me your blessing. That is not a disciple. Telling his Guru such thing. No. Okay, so let's go to Prabhupada's purport. Today, my Shri Mataji is not with us. She's not using her camera. Okay, purport.
I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry,
very
Prabhu,
good.
please.
Now, we just find you now. It's okay. Sorry, let's go. Purport. Someone want to read?
Okay, Prabhu. Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, it appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master. Lord Sri Krishna, he could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence. And it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholar, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is the real spiritual master. Kiba, Vipra Kibanya sa Sudra Kenenaya, Ye Krishna
Tattva Veta Se Guru Hoy.
Haya. It does not matter whether a person is Vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is the perfect and bona fide spiritual master. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 8.128. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature, Sat Karma Nipono Vipro Mantra Tantra Visarada Avaishnavo Nashad Vaishnava Swapaguru. A scholarly Brahmana expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. Padma Purana. The problem of material existence, birth, old age, disease, and death cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed. Yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentations for family, social, national, or international inebrities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrevealed kingdom on the earth of supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the catalysis of material nature. Even elevation into higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Kesne ponye martya lokam visante. When the results of pious activities are finished, when the result of the pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfall only constitute more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem, definitely. And that is the way of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada using this opportunity to stress and emphasize to us that our material problem cannot be solved by material solution. Material problem can only be solved by spiritual solution. That's why Prabhupada emphasized so much in the purport, saying that economic developments and sense education cannot solve our perplexities. Because if not, all the rich people will be very happy. They will be the most happiest people in the universe. But go close to them. They're not happy. They have comfort. There is a difference between comfort and happiness. We have to get this clear and right. You may be comfortable because of the car you ride, the house you're staying, whatever like that, the facility around you, and you may not be happy. And you may be happy and be living even on the street. That is why you see the sages or the pure devotees, like giving a very good example, Srila Sanatana Goswami, when he went to Vrindavan, he was living under different trees, in every day, different days, staying under different trees, not a particular place, moving from one tree in Vrindavan to another, was not attached to a particular place. But he's the most pure devotee in the whole universe. He's a very pure devotee of Krishna. So happy, transcendental, blissful. But he's very detached from this material comfort. Very detached. There was one time, Chaitanya Prabhu, when he came to Varanasi, he was using a very expensive blanket to cover himself because his cousin gave him. His brother-in-law gave him. So when he came to Chaitanya Prabhu, when Chaitanya Prabhu saw that blanket on his body, look in disapproval of that, gave out the blanket to get on and turn one. Because why? He has taken the position of a sannyasi, so he should not dress elegantly or try to look for some comfort. So you can see all these pure devotees, they may seemingly living austere life, but they are the most happiest person on the planet. Meanwhile, those people who are living very opulent life, some of them are very miserable. Because most of the time, they don't really find people who really truly love them. They'll see people love them for what they have. The people always coming to them, give me this, give me that. People always, praising them, sankophants, so many sankophants around them. So because of this, sometimes they cannot really, they're not happy. They just see all pretensions and, fake people around them. And they look. So we have to understand that material opulence or material economic development does not give real happiness. Real happiness comes from spiritual practice. That is why when we take our spiritual practice, no matter whatever is our situation, we will be happy. Anyone who is not happy in devotional service means you are not practicing properly. Simple. Okay? So let's continue. Because from now until we will get to 30, it's going to be more of Gyan, knowledge. Okay, it's going to be pure knowledge about the soul. Once Krishna will take over from Arjuna, it's going to be pure knowledge about the soul. So it's going to be more and more philosophical. So there's not going to be so many stories, okay? Like Drona did like this, or Bhishma is like that, or those stories, ends in chapter 1, Now we're going to be hearing more and more philosophy. Are we ready for philosophy?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be more. Krishna is going to give so much philosophy to Arjuna. Let's continue. You know, he's going to use philosophy to destroy his ignorance. Yeah, Arjuna is not actually in ignorance, but he's taking our position so that we can get Bhagavad Gita. So we're very grateful to Arjuna. Okay. So Arjuna, after Arjuna finished speaking, now Sanjaya is taking it up. Sanjaya Vacha Eva Mukta Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapa Nayosya iti govindam Uktva Tushni Babovaha. Translation. Sanjaya say, having spoken thus, Arjuna's chastiser of enemy told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight. And he fell silent. So Arjuna, after speaking all this, he said, Krishna, I'm not going to fight. This fight, no. And he became silent. Let's read the purport, then we'll go to chapter 10. I'll pass it by reading the mind of the Sarastra. Please read. Who is reading?
Dhritarashtra must have been very glad. Sorry, you hear me, Prabhuji?
We are hearing you, but your mic
It's not
is
clear.
making vibration because your mouth is not directly to the mic.
Okay, how about this one? Dhritarashtra
Yes.
must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging professions. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. Tapaha. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentations resulting from family affection that would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realizations of Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated, since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Hare Krishna.
So that is test 9. So Sanjaya is speaking. So let's to test 10. So what is the first thing Krishna does after hearing this? Krishna smile. Tamuvacha Rishikesha Prahasa Iva Bharata Senayo Upayo Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vacha. Okay. Translation. O descendant of Bharata, at that time, Krishna, smiling in the midst of both armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So if you read Surrender Unto Me, Pujya Prabhu wrote the commentary of the Acharya, that Arjuna, at Krishna's smile means so much. The Krishna smile and at the same time switch the rasa. Because Krishna and Arjuna were discussing on an equal platform before. Now that Arjuna has surrendered to him, Krishna smiles. And immediately he smiles, he immediately changes his mood, became grave. Yes. Like smile, then he became grave. Now it took the position of a teacher. You know, so of our one Prabhu came from Pune, Sachin Anuja Prabhu, and he spoke on this particular verse. Very nice, wonderfully about Krishna's smile. Very wonderful. Because when you go to the temple, all what you see on the altar is Krishna's smile to relieve us of our anxiety. You know, when we go to the temple, we're full of frustration, anxiety, you know, jumping here and there. Then when we go in front of the deities, you know, you just look at that Krishna smiles. You know, your mind will just, you know, calm down, you know, just be at peace and be happy, you know. The Krishna smile is relieving like a cool moon, you know. So the first thing Krishna did here is to smile at Arjuna. He smiles, and immediately it took the mode of a spiritual master. It changes mode, and it switched the mode to, it became grave according to Acharya. It became grave. Now he's going to instruct Arjuna. Okay, so let's read the purport.
Yes, the talk was going on between intimate friends, namely the Rishikesh and Kudakesh. As friends, both of them were on the same level, but one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone, and yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as the master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity, as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. Hare Krishna.
Somebody may come and ask me tomorrow, how possible all the millions of people on the battlefield were able to hear Krishna? Don't ask me that question because I was not there. When I go there in trance, I will be able to answer your question, okay? Maybe one day when I enter the trance and I come on the battlefield of Gita to see what is going on there, I'll be able to answer your question, okay? How did they hear? Was Krishna using mic? Is there any microphone? You know, people actually were very highly spiritual those days. They don't need mic to speak to large number of people. When people become very silent, you know, with projection of your voice, or even by speaking using telepathy, people can hear you very loud and clear. You know, so like that. So let's continue. Now, take the role of a spiritual master. And the first thing, don't be dejected. Don't be angry. You should pray obeisance. Yes, guy Guru Maharaj. Oh, why is it me? Why Guru Maharaj is chastising me? No. Okay. Because only your Guru has the right to chastise you, actually. Okay. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Aso chamabaso chantam. Pragya vadam chabasose. Kata swagata sumscha. Nano chanti panditaha. The Supreme Personality of God has said, why speaking learned words? You are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So we have to learn the art of speaking from Krishna. Krishna is a very good teacher. Okay? Krishna is teaching us here. I want to explain the subtlety in this Krishna statement before going to Prabhupada's purport and really talking about the real discussion that is going on. the subtlety, one thing I can find in this statement, Krishna, is that when you want to speak to someone, even your subordinates, even though what you are going to speak is insultive, say it very nicely. Do you get me? Are you getting me?
Can you repeat, Prabhuji?
Can
No.
you say that again, Prabhu, please?
Okay. I said, Krishna is teaching us how to speak to our subordinates here. Okay. Even if we are going to, what we are going to say to our subordinate is insultive, still speak it nicely.
Oh, okay.
Do you get
Thank
me?
you. Yes, we hear you.
Krishna is calling Arjuna fool here. But did you see fool in the statement there? No. There's nothing like you're a foolish idiot here. But actually, Krishna is calling Arjuna a fool indirectly. Okay, let's go and see Prabhupada's purport. You will see there. Okay, read.
Okay.
Okay.
The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastises the student, calling him indirectly. A fool of the Lord said, "You are talking like a learned man, but you don't know what is learned. One who knows what is the body and what is soul
Amen.
does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition, as explained in later chapters. It will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. Arjuna argued that religious principles should be given more importance than politics or sociology, but he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than religious formularies, and because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man, as he did not happen to be consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born, is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation, regardless of the condition of material body. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Asosham abasosham twam. You are lamenting for what is not worthy of lamentation. Pragyam vada vabasha say. You are speaking like a learned man. Actually, you don't seem to be very intelligent, Arjuna. You know? You say, Asocham abasocham twam. Twam means you. Just like in Tagalog, we say cow or car means you. Okay. So, yeah, twam means, in Sanskrit, twam means you. Okay. So, yeah, you see, Asocham abasocham twam. Pragyavadam vashashe. Okay, very nice statement. You are speaking like a learned man. Well, actually, you are lamenting for what is not worthy worthy of lamentation. So why are you posing yourself as a learned person? So Arjuna, Krishna was telling directly, like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, calling Arjuna fool number one. Because why? He doesn't know the knowledge of the soul. So if anyone who does not have the knowledge of the soul, and is speaking as if he's very knowledgeable, according to Krishna's classification, is a fool. So knowledge of the soul is a true knowledge, like we learned in the Shri Upanishad, Vidya and Avidya. So real Vidya is knowledge of the soul, the real knowledge. So here, Krishna is chastising Arjuna. He chastises Arjuna here. You are a fool. Since you were speaking as if you are very learned, but my dear Arjuna, keep your mouth shut. Now I'm going to teach you real knowledge. Okay. Okay, so now from this next verse, we're going to be hearing knowledge about the soul till we get to verse 30. So let me share. Are you still seeing my screen? I switched my screen, but are you seeing the PowerPoint?
Not yet, Prabhu.
Not yet,
It's not
Prabhu.
showing.
Are you seeing the PowerPoint now?
No, Prabhu. It's still showing the verse.
Okay, means that I have to really remove that and start it again. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
You can see it now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah.
So now we are going to start from now, 11, Gyan, knowledge, pure knowledge. Krishna is going to give knowledge to Arjuna from verse 11 to 30. Okay, so my screen is still on. Okay, this is the beginning of Krishna's knowledge to Arjuna. Natwamivaham jatu nasam natwaneme jana dipaha nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. I remember those days when we started learning Bhagavad Gita, we were trying to memorize all this, especially this verse, like from verse 12. I try at my best to start learning the shloka, memorizing shloka from verse 12. Because that verse actually is very, very important verse, according to Prabhupada. It's a verse that is, establishing that Krishna is a person. It's refuting the argument of the Mayavadis, this particular verse. Because here Krishna is saying, I exist in the past, okay? I'm existing now and I will continue to exist in the future. Okay? Even the king also. So, are you seeing my screen? Oh, I'm not sharing. Okay, I have to share. Okay. Can you see it now? Never was there a time when I did not exist. Okay? Nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So here, Krishna is establishing that we are eternally fragmented parts of him, and we continue to remain individual. Means there's no time that we are going to merge into the existence of Krishna, just like the Mayavadis, they will always profound. Okay, we will always remain individual in the past, present, and in the future. Sometimes people want to merge into the existence of Krishna or in God. He allows them also. Just like when Krishna came to Pal in the assembly of the great Vaishnavas, the great devotees assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira and all the others who was, Bhishma Dev also was there, and not the person. When he came to Shishupal, Shishupal merged into his body. He saw his effulgence. They were surprised. So sometimes Krishna give liberty on that opportunity also, but that does not mean that is not our eternal position. Our eternal position is that we are eternally fragmental part of God, and we will continue to remain individual because Krishna has given us free will. Okay, let's go to Prabhupada's purport. Somebody want to read? There's no exercise today, so we're just going to be reading until the end of the class. Yes, please go ahead.
In the Vedas, in the Katsaya Upanishad as well.
As in the...
Okay,
oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, read for me. Read it for you. Yeah.
I will read it. Ano nga to?
In 12.
All right. In the Vedas, in the Katsaya Upanishad as well as the Simtasvatara Upanishad, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer of innumerable living entities. In terms of their different situations, according to individual work and reaction of work, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is also by his plenary proportions, alive in the heart of every living entity, only simply person who can see within and without. The same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal peace.
Nityo nityanam, chetanas chetananam, eko baonam yo vidadati kaman, tam atmas tam ye nupashyanti diras, te sham shanti shaswati, nate netaresham. Kata Upanishad 2.2.13.
All right. The same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned but factually but have a profound of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that he himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are internally individual beings. And the Lord is internally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their condition and their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Individual Person, and Arjuna, the Lord's internal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual internal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past. It is not that they will not remain internal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there's no cause for limitation for anyone. The Mayavadi's theory that after liberation, the individual soul, separated by covering of Maya or illusion, will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence. It's not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the supreme authority, nor theory that will only think of individuality and the conditioned state supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future, also in the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in the Upanishad, will continue internally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have stressed it so much, even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that individuality spoken of the Krishna is not spiritual, but material, even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirmed his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways, and impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual individuality all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authority. scripture. A common man with all the four defects of human frailty are unable to teach that which is worth hearing. The Gita is above such literature. No mundane books compare with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as ordinary man, the Gita lost all importance. The Mayavadi argues that the plurality of mention in this verse is conventional, is that it refers to the body, but previous to this verse, such bodily conception is already condemned after condemning the bodily conception of the living entities. How was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proposition on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on the spiritual ground, is thus confirmed by the great acharyas like Sri Ramanuja and others. Is clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great literatures. Then the non-devotees' approach to the teaching of the Gita is something like that of the bee licking on the bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of the Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by the devotees. No one else can taste it as it is stated in the fourth chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by a person who envy and the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is a most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentation made by the Mayavadis and warns that one who takes to such an understanding of the Mayavadis philosophy lost all power to understand real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there's no need of teaching by the Lord. The plurality of individual soul and the Lord is internal fact. It is confirmed by the Vedas above mentioned.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we can see how Prabhupada stressed so much about Mayavadi, talking about against Mayavadi. He spent so much of his energy trying to refute Mayavadi arguments. And that is why you see in Srila Prabhupada's Prana mantra, we have Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarini. So Srila Prabhupada has come to defeat the argument of Nirvishesha, the Mayavadis, and Shunyavadi, the Buddhists. These two people, they have misled the world. So Prabhupada came in this age to defeat their argument and establish the process of Bhakti very strongly. So there are two kinds of impersonalists. Let us take note of this, very important. We have Mayavadis and we have Brahmavadis. They are two different impersonalists. The two of them are different from each other. Okay? We should not mix them up. Mayavadis, Chaitanya Prabhu mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Mayavadis, Krishna aparadi. Mayavadis are offensive to Krishna. Because Mayavadi, their own philosophy is completely materialistic. They believe that everything is Maya. That is why they are called Mayavadis. They believe that everything is Maya. Okay? And we have Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis, they are impersonalists also. Their goal is to attain Brahman. But they are completely different from the Mayavadis. Good example of Brahmavadis are the four Kumaras. Even Shukadeva Goswami himself, before he became attracted and read Bhagavatam. So these people were Brahmavadis before. Means that they believe in this light, the effulgence of Krishna. Nothing beyond that. But Mayavadis is completely different. And these Mayavadis, they are very prominent in India. So people have to always be very stressing on this point about Mayavadis. Very, very important, because the Mayavadis, the translation of Bhagavad Gita in India, we have more of commentary of the Mayavadis. That's why Prabhupada is speaking so much seriously about it, because Mayavadis, they don't believe in the existence of Krishna as a real person. They believe that Krishna is allegory, somebody that does not exist, they don't really believe in Krishna's existence. So if you don't believe in somebody, how can you speak in favor of that person? Okay? So you see the Brahmavadis, they are the one who want to become God. That is why they say their philosophy is very dangerous. They are the one who want to become God. I will give a very good example. One example of Brahmavadi around us is the Brahma Kumaris. Okay? The Brahma Kumaris, they are pure example of Mayavadis. If you listen to their philosophy, they will tell you that when you become perfect, you become that God, that you are that God we are talking about. Just imagine somebody is telling you that you are going to be God. You have been trying all your life, you want to act like God. Now somebody is telling you that you are that God, and just that because you have not realized it now, that is why you are suffering. Once you realize you can, then you will know that you are that God. You see how facaging that kind of philosophy is? Facade your ego. You feel, oh, I'm God. Oh, it's true, I'm God. Oh, yes, I was thinking like that. I've been thinking like that. Now somebody is, so that the philosophy is the bad. That is why Shitama Prabhu said we should not listen to the Mayavadi philosophy. Because why? The philosophy that tells you that you are God, that you are going to become God, is very dangerous for the living entity. So that is why Krishna is establishing in this particular point that we are always individual, either in the past, present, or future. The living entity will always keep their individuality. Krishna never tampers with our individuality. Actually, we have when people were misusing the Vedas in India, because the Buddha also came to preach Buddhism is an incarnation of Krishna. So when people were misusing the Vedas to kill animals unnecessarily in India, Lord Buddha came. So Lord Buddha is Krishna's incarnation because it's very powerful. Because it's Krishna, that's why it's very powerful to be able to convince people not using the Vedas. Because in India, people are very attached to the Vedas, but he was able to convince them out of the Vedas. Can you imagine? Because it's Krishna himself. Because people were misusing the Vedas to kill an innocent animal. So he came and he told them, you give up the Vedas. See, the Vedas is telling you to kill animal. No, you have to be compassionate to the animal. Because like that. So he was able to convince people to give up the Vedas. And what is the conclusion of his own philosophy? That at the end you become voidism, sunyavadi. That is why they are called sunyavadi. You become zero. We came from a zero, then we go back to a zero. That is Buddhist philosophy, Buddhism. Okay, so then after that, Shankaracharya came. Shankaracharya himself is the incarnation of Lord Shiva, very powerful. So Lord Shiva is very powerful. Actually, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, there is no difference. The only difference between Lord Shiva and Vishnu is that one is milk, the other one is yogurt. What is the difference between milk and yogurt? Anybody want to tell me?
The yogurt comes from milk.
Yogurts come from milk. And yogurts, you can get many yogurt from milk, but yogurt cannot become milk. That is it. So you can see the position of Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. It's always almost on the same level. But one is coming, the other one is coming from the other one. So that is why sometimes when you are speaking about Shiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva, people get confused. Okay? But the Vaishnavas, they understand these tattvas. Okay? So Shankaracharya came after Lord Buddha. Now he has to bring people's faith back into the Veda. So Lord Buddha came, he preached about zero. Okay? So from zero, you have to increase the number to one. Everything starts from zero, isn't it? So when Shankaracharya came, he started preaching about oneness. So from zero to one, so everything has come to one now, okay? So he was able to defeat the Buddhism, and he drove Buddhism out of India. That is why you see Buddhism is not very prominent in India. They went to China, another neighboring country. They become very strong in that area. Okay, because of the power of Shankaracharya. Okay, so Buddhism became very strong outside India. But actually, it came from India originally. So from zero, everything become one because Lord Shankaracharya preached about oneness. But actually, this philosophy also was to cheat those other people also. Is to cheat people who are still having doubt about God. Because why? At the end of the whole preaching of Shankaracharya, he mentioned in his book, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda Mudamate. He called all his disciples. He said, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, all this fool. You are just using word jugglery. You are all fool. But the main thing is to worship Govinda. Just imagine, somebody has come, he has preached about how everything is oneness. Now, at the end of the preaching, secretly he was telling them that they are all fool, that actually the real thing is for them to worship Govinda. Okay. So then, after the Shankaracharya, then we have the four Vaishnava Acharyas. Vishnu, Ramanuja Acharya, what is the name of the other one? Ramanuja Acharya, Madhura Acharya, we have Vishnu Swami, and there's the last one, I've forgotten his name now. So these four Vaishnava, especially Madhura Acharya and Ramanuja Acharya, they came to preach about two. So now the number has increased from 0 to 1 to 2. You take note now. Because the Madhura Acharya and Ramanuja Acharya, they say that Krishna is completely different from the living entity. The living entity is completely different. So it's 1 and 2. You cannot say it's 1. The position of the living entity is eternal. The position of of Krishna is eternal. So we exist simultaneously eternally. So it's 2, it's not 1. So they try to defeat the philosophy of Shankaracharya in India. Okay. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the king of them all, came. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, it's not, it's 2 and 1, simultaneously 2 and 1. You see? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu philosophy is simultaneously 2 and 1. Means that Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. That is meaning. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva means simultaneously 1 and different. Okay? So Prabhupada now gave example on this. He gave so many very nice clarification on this point, that qualitatively we are one with God, but quantitatively we are different internally. Because just like when you take the water from the ocean, qualitatively, the drop of water taken from the ocean has the same quality with the big water of the ocean if you get and go and do experiments. But in quantity, the ocean is larger than you cannot compare it, it's incomparable also. So that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to do. to establish how the living entity is eternally servant of Krishna, even though we are one qualitatively, means we are eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, but still Krishna is infinite and we are infinitesimal. You understand? Krishna is unlimited, unfathomable, inconceivable, but we are minute spark. So when that minute spark become far from the original fire, it gives up the quality of fiery nature. So when we become far from God, when we go far away from God, we lose our spiritual nature. Not that we forget it. So we start identifying ourselves with the illusory energy of this world. So Prabhupada is very emphatic about this individuality in the purport. You can see it. He always mentions individuality, and how, so this first verse of this Gyan, Prabhupada uses this to establish how the living entity is eternally, individual, and how Krishna in the purport is establishing that we are all individual. We are not one, like the Mayavadis. We profound. Very important we take note of this. So this is the beginning of knowledge. Now we are going to be hearing more and more knowledge from today on, okay? I hope it's not tiring. Any questions or comments?
Can I share my experience, Prabhuji?
About how you realize the soul? Oh, please share.
No, about Mayavadis.
Okay, go ahead.
My uncle bring me actually, to the place for Mayavadis here in.
Who's your uncle?
He's my uncle, but anyway, and then yeah, they actually blaspheme Krishna, and then they ask you to meditate, and then they will tell you you already die and now you're awake and now you're already God. And I was like, this is crazy. It's how come I become God? I can't even live.
Is it the one who came to the temple? That's what I'm trying to confirm.
Sorry?
Is it the one who came to the temple?
No, he's not the one. So for me, like, it's not really good to associate with Mayavadis because they will really contaminate our minds. So it was my experience.
Yeah, no, yeah. So he took you to the place. Now they're telling you that you are God, isn't it?
Yes, they tell you that you are God. It was so funny, actually.
So what was your experience telling you that you are God for 1 minute? What was your experience?
I don't believe. How come I become God? I cannot even lift the Govardhan Hill. I was just like laughing. I was just curious, but actually it's contaminating the mind. So no need to be like associate with them. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other comments or question?
I have a question, Prabhu, with regards to the Brahma bodies.
Okay, Brahma bodies, yeah.
Yes, those individuals or other practitioners who wants to merge to the Brahman effulgence, are they also considered Brahma bodies?
They are the Brahma bodies, actually. They are the one I'm talking about. When we talk about Brahma bodies, they are the Brahma bodies. But the Mayavadis, they are the one. Those ones actually they are not Brahmavadis. These Mayavadis, they are different. They are the one who is the Brahmavadi. They believe in this supreme absolute truth to be Brahman, and that is what they want to merge into. But the Mayavadis, they say God, Krishna is a material. He took the material form. So they twisted the philosophy. So they say that you are God. Okay? That is only that you have not realized it now. Okay? So they tell you how Krishna realized it, so he became realized that his God is that. So they give all these word juggleries. So Mayavadi actually they go to hell. Brahmavadis, they merge into the Brahman. Okay? Because Mayavadis, they are envious of Krishna. And that is why it is said that we should not listen to the Mayavadis. Mayavadis are completely different from Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis, they are spiritual. Actually, they are spiritual. And you will see, Chaitanya Prabhu took initiation from a Brahmavadi. His guru was a Brahmavadi, actually. And there's so many Brahmavadis also in India like that. Those who believe in Brahman. Okay? Mayavadis is completely different. Chaitanya Prabhu will never associate with Mayavadis. They are Krishna Aparade. Just like Ashaya Matani was explaining to us, how they were saying that they should meditate that is God. Okay? And she also was thinking that if I'm God, I should be able to live to Govardhan. You know, but so that is the difference between the Brahmavadis. Actually, they are very spiritual. The Brahmavadis are very spiritual. They are completely different from the Mayavadis. Mayavadis, they are just like the name sound. They are Mayas. They are Maya, you know.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Ryan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I just want to ask, is this verse 2.9? Can we consider this the one in our assignment, the indecision? Because
yes. Read it.
Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chasterer of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent.
Yeah, before that, read the text 8.
Text 8.
Read.
I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous and unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven.
Sorry. Read text 6. Sorry, text 6.
Text 6. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the son of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
You understand?
Yeah.
So from text 6, that was in this. He doesn't know whether he should fight or not, whether conquering them or not conquering them. He doesn't know what to do, and that is why in text 7, read text 7.
Text 7. Yeah. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me.
You see, so he confirmed his indecision there, 7, and then he surrendered to Krishna.
2.7.
Okay? He doesn't know what to do. Krishna,
Yeah.
now I want you to tell me. I don't know what to do, whether I should fight or I should not fight. I don't really know what to do. I'm confused, Krishna. Please tell me what to do. Okay?
Okay.
So like that. So any other comments or contribution? No comment, no contribution. Then let's read little of Prabhupada's quote. Then we call it a day. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
so we have not even reached yet, sorry. So we cannot read now, sorry. We have not gone far at all. We are just starting. We have not reached where to read the quotes because the quote starts from 2021, and now we are still in text number 13. Is it 12? So tomorrow, serious knowledge about the soul is going to start. We should continue to 8:30, or we should stop here.
But we have done on 12.
So we should continue to we should start continue to 8:30, or we should stop here.
Yes,
We
13 is
continue
next.
13.
Okay. Other people also 8:30. If you are
Today, you mean?
surprised,
Today, 8:30,
yeah.
we finished?
No, we have been finishing 8:30 before. I'm just asking, should we continue to 8:30? Nobody's speaking now. Ryan Prabhu and Angel have already spoken. I want to hear from others.
Yes, Prabhu, we can continue.
Yes, I want to hear the yes.
Yes, we continue.
Yes, yes. One more yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes. Now the yes is becoming confirmed more and more. Thank you. So 13. Deinos smiyata dehe kaumaram yabanam jara tata deyantara prapti Tatra namoyati. Boyhood to youth to old age. This so similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person who is not bewildered by such a change. So here, Krishna is trying to nullify the worry, the concern of Arjuna about killing his teacher and his grandfather. That don't worry, you are going to give them new body. You are not killing their soul. You are changing their body. So if by fighting them, you are going to give them new body, because sometimes before they were young, now they become to youth, now they are old. They're already old anyway. So just kill them to give them new body. So if you are really in knowledge, you will know a sober person is not bewildered by such change. So this knowledge is very, very important. It's the beginning, is the ABC of Krishna consciousness. But many of us have not realized it even till now. Many of us. And many of us are still struggling to realize it. We only know it theoretically, but practically, we don't understand that we are not. What it means that we are not the soul, we don't even know. We can easily say, oh, I'm not the soul, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. But we don't even know what it means when we say we are not the body, we are the soul. We are still very attached to eating onion, garlic, chocolate, and all the rest. We don't understand. We cannot give up these things. We are very attached to them. Mother Shaya is laughing. Are you attached to chocolate? Okay, so let's continue. You know, I've had many griyasas. They will say, oh, I'm a griyasa, so I can eat onion and garlic. They don't understand what it means to practice devotional service. If you understand what it means to practice devotional service, then you will know that before you can begin to practice devotional service, you have to come to the mode of goodness. For you to come to the mode of goodness, you have to be conscious of what you eat. You see, many devotees, they have devoted for many years. They don't even understand why we should not eat this. They just think that Prabhupada just said, don't eat it, don't eat that. They don't understand. You need to come to the mode of goodness. And coming to the mode of goodness, what you eat is very important. If you say you are a Brahmana, you are very selective of what you eat. When you say you are a Brahmana, that is why you see in India, those who are following this principle of Brahmanical life, they don't eat anywhere and everywhere. They are very conscious of where they eat and who cooks their food. They're very conscious so that they can maintain that goodness. They can come to that mood of, many devotees don't understand this. They just think that they say we should not eat this, we should not eat that. How is that connected to my Krishna concept? They don't understand this subtle philosophy. Very subtle. Now, Ashaya Mataji wants to ask a question. Please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you
Right.
mentioned that it's very important for the person that you're eating is someone who will cook for it.
Yeah.
Why you emphasize that? I mean, you mentioned that.
Because when we realize that we are not the body, then we are very conscious on how to bring ourselves on the mode of goodness. And to come to the mode of goodness, who cook your food is very important. What you eat is very important. Who you associate with is very important. Where you go is very important. Because why? You want to always be in the mode of goodness. So that you can maintain that equanimity of knowing that you are not this body, you are this soul. And the purpose of life is to fix on that goal of realizing the soul by trying to live a pure life. So let's read Prabhupada's purport. Okay. Prabhupada is going to talk more about the soul. So let's read. Somebody want to read? You reading is a very great opportunity for you to actually remember. So please, always eager to read and fight for it.
Okay, Prabhu. Purport. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So, in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called adira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of the bodies. The mayabadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained, on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme soul's being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the supreme exist eternally, sanatan, and are called kesara, that is the tendency to fall into material nature. Are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the super soul, who is present in each and every individual bodies and change and known as the Paramatma. He is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in the water, the reflection represents both the sun and the moon, and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities, and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then the relationship of instructor and instructed become meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusionary energy Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity. Arjuna, who is a forgetful soul, deluded by Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Krishna is taking the position here of instructor, the Prabhupada explained. And Arjuna is taking the position of the living entity under Maya. So he's telling us how the soul is completely different from the body. This is the beginning, this is the ABC of spiritual life, like I said before. And this is the beginning and the end of spiritual life. It's the ABC, at the same time it's advanced, if you understand it, is the advanced spiritual life itself. You know, so in the beginning, when we come to spiritual life, we heard, oh, we are not the soul, we are the soul, we are not this body, you know. So what does it mean to act for somebody on that platform? What does it mean to act on that platform of the soul? Very, very important. That is why we have the regular principles and we have the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Okay, so if we are sincerely and seriously chanting, we will not have taste for all those things that will not make us to be in the mode of goodness. What are those things? The bodies, many of us are still very attached to them. Okay, some devotees, they will say, oh, I'm a grihasta, you know, I can eat onion or garlic. Who told you that? Then you are not a devotee, you are not a brahmana. No matter how if you like, you are a tiny thread on your neck. You're not a brahmana. Even those who are strictly following in India, they even select to the extent of some of them still say carrot is in the mode of ignorance because it's underground food. So they will not even eat carrots. They will not eat all the food that is growing underground. They still consider it to be in the mode of ignorance. They are so strict to that level. Because why? They are more very conscious about being in the mode of goodness. Actually, being in the mode of goodness is very, very important for our spiritual life. That is why we are asked to wake up early in the morning to chant, to attend Mangalati, so that we can be in the mode of goodness. Because understanding Krishna happens when you are steady in the mode of goodness. When you are not steady in the mode of goodness, you cannot understand devotional service. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Mam chayo vibhyacharina bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatya itam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. When one engages in devotional service unfailingly in all circumstances, to come to the level of Brahma. Try to be in the. So the devotee who is very serious, who is chanting very seriously, will not like chocolate because Prabhupada said we should not eat chocolate. A devotee who is chanting seriously we not take garlic and honey because Papa said we should not take onion and garlic. Who is serious? Oh, it's for Prabhuji, it's for health reason. What health reason? Tell me. What health reason? So that you can be in the mode of passion. Onion and garlic will only put you in the mode of passion. There's nothing else. Nothing else. They only want to make you to be passionate. Ginger is okay. Take ginger. Take asafoetida. Why onion and garlic? Okay. I'm mentioning this because I know many devotees, there are some devotees who have watered down this philosophy and they tell people, you know, you're a Grihasta, you can eat onion and garlic, you know, you can eat chocolate. There's nothing wrong about chocolate, you know, and there's nothing wrong. It's not meat, you know. But such devotee, if you go close to them, they cannot be in the mode of goodness. It's very difficult for them. So these are the points we have to take note that even though if we are not there yet, we should know the truth. Don't let anyone to miss the truth for you and polish it to their own taste. Okay? The truth is there. We should know the truth. If you are not there, okay, accept your fallen situation. Don't come and proud or you'll be proud about your fallen situation. No, be humble and know that this is the principle. I'm not there yet, but I have to be there one day. Okay? Don't come and tell us, oh, this is the principle we should follow because that is what I'm following. No. We know the principles. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita to eat food in the mode of goodness is very good. When we eat food in the mode of goodness, it increases our lifespan. We are satisfied, we are happy. So we should eat. Actually, food is. I gave one seminar about distraction, concentration. Seminar. So in that seminar, I spoke about sleep, eating, and all the other points. So if you want, one of our classes, I will share this point with you also. Talking about this eating, about sleeping, and about all these things. You know, some devotees, they are very, even though they are not working at night, but they cannot sleep at night again. They're just glued to their phone. Till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., they cannot give up the phone. I can bet you, Prabhuji, if you are such a devotee, it's a matter of time you become depressed. It's a matter of time. Depression will set in your life. Because there is a particular hormone that your body produces from the sunset, immediately when it's 6:30 to 1 o'clock at night. If you don't sleep within that time, you are deregulating your body system. And when you are deregulating your body system, time will come in the future that the body will fight back. And people call it depression. You'll not be able to manage your emotion again. Uncontrollable for you. So all these things, sleeping early for devotee, eating proper food in the mode of goodness, waking up early in the morning to chant their rounds, is to put you in proper state of consciousness to always realize that we are not this body, the spirit soul. Very important point. So I just say, let me emphasize this. Like I said, from now on till we get to test 30, it's going to be more pure Gyan. So I hope it's not boring. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I have a question with
Yes.
regards to being selective with what we eat, because you mentioned
Yes.
that it is for if you want to be serious with the practice, we need to avoid eating onion and garlic. But how about because I understand that cooking is also important, that the consciousness of the cook also goes into the food that he is cooking.
Yes. Yes.
How about if we avoid? Is it okay if we know, even if a devotee, even though that we know that a devotee cooks that food, but we know that let's say on that day that devotee is not, not in a good mood. Is it okay if we can, like, avoid, or somehow uh just pay respect to the food that he offered and not take it?
Actually,
How do we?
this question you're asking me is a very big topic. If I start now, we'll finish by 9:30. You want me to start? Okay, let me just
You can,
summarize it. Let me just
yes, just
summarize it.
summarize.
Let me summarize it. Okay. It's a very, very nice topic, and I always love to speak about this topic, especially about food. See, if I'm not, I should know the goal. If I'm not there, I should not drag everybody to be on my level. Okay. There is what we call prasadam. There is what we call mahaprasadam. We have to differentiate this. Okay. Prasadam and mahaprasadam. Okay. Mahaprasadam is the food that Krishna has taken. And prasadam is the food that Krishna has given us out of his mercy. It's just like mahaprasadam. When your guru takes that mahaprasadam, it becomes mahaprasadam, double maha. Okay, so mahaprasadam is the food that is directly offered on the altar to Krishna. It's mahaprasadam. The one that you offer not on the altar is called prasadam. Okay, because it's not, there's no proper standard following your house or whatever. It's okay, it's prasadam. But mahaprasadam means in the temple, everything is about Krishna. So the person who's cooking is okay, is cooking for Krishna. It boils the boga for Krishna. So whatever those items, it becomes mahaprasadam after Krishna finished eating. Okay, so now you're talking about people's consciousness. Very, very important. The person who cooks the food, his consciousness is very, very important, because even though if it's in the temple, now let me give you a temple example now. Even if it's in a temple and the person cook the food for Krishna on the altar, if it's not in proper consciousness, there is no assurance that Krishna has eaten that food. Because Krishna did not promise us that he's going to eat anything we offer to him. Krishna say, Patram pushpa phalam to yam, yume bhaktiya prayachati. It must be offered with love and devotion. That is the promise. That is what Krishna, that is the condition he gave. The food must be offered with love and devotion. And he made it very clear there further. He said, even though if it's very simple, water, fruit, leaf, vegetable, even though he said, but the most important thing, what I eat is love. So if a devotee is cooking with anger, how is Krishna going to eat anger? He didn't tell us he's going to eat anger. If a devotee is cooking with lust, he's cooking and he's thinking about another girl, or he's thinking about a boy, did Krishna promise us that he's going to eat our lust? No. But the point that is here is that Krishna is going to purify the food, but there's no assurance that he's going to eat it. Okay, so even though the food is purified by offer to Krishna, it will still give us back our hunger. So when you eat that food, all the people who eat that food, they become angry. They start fighting, or if it is lust, that is inside the food, Krishna will purify the food. Okay, Krishna is very merciful. He will purify, by looking at the food, he will purify it, but he will give us back our lust. So when we eat that food, everybody will be chasing after each other. That Mataji, that Prabhuji. Everybody will be thinking about Krishna. Everybody will be thinking about Mataji, Prabhuji, Mataji. Everybody will be, planning on how to meet each other. You see? So because Krishna did not promise us that he's going to eat our lust, he said, as you surrender to me, I reward you accordingly. So whatever you offer to him, that is what he's going to give back to you. I remember one time my Guru Maharaj, he came to Nigeria, he was telling us, in one of his temple where it's a GBC, it's still the GBC now. So devotees were fighting in that temple. Everybody was quarreling. Then Guru Maharaj asked, who is cooking in the kitchen? And they show him. He said, okay, it's all right. So I'm going to cook in the kitchen, you know. And for 2 weeks, started cooking in the kitchen. And all the devotees, they became calm. Everybody become calm. Everybody become respectful to each other. There was no fighting again, and all those kind of things. To show that whatever we offer to Krishna, that is what Krishna gives us back. So to select the person food we eat is not a sin, it's not offensive. That is why you see, even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling, he took a brahmana with him who will be cooking for him. And he's very conscious of where he eats. Actually, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached Mathura, there's a particular brahmana who is not a very high-class brahmana. And when he saw the brahmana display of ecstatic love, he asked him, what is your connection? So he started narrating to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how he has gotten the mercy of Madhavendra Puri. Even though he was not a very high-class brahmana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, for you to have gotten mercy of Madhavendra Puri, I'm going to eat in your house. To show you that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selects where he eats his food. So to select what food you eat, who cook your food, how you eat is very, very important for your consciousness. Very, very important. There's one Maharaj in my country, since he was a brahmachari, he's very, very selective about who cook for him. Even till today, he can perceive the consciousness of the cook in the food. I remember one day, I went to that particular temple, and the person, because me also, I'm very sensitive about who cook, eating food cooked by people. I'm very, very sensitive. I select. So I've been going to that temple. I know the person who is cooking. I never like to eat the food. But one day, that particular day, when I got to that temple, I was so happy. I don't know why. My mind was so pleasing, so happy. So that day I decided to eat the food of that particular devotee. And I ate that food. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Because at night, I dream of what I've never dreamed of in my life. I could see the picture of that person in my dream, and I could see all the person's consciousness in that dream. Prabhuji, I don't need to mention it here to you. It's so scary. I could see the consciousness. So it's very, very important what you are saying. As a devotee, we have to see, when we want to be in the mode of goodness, we have to take all these things very serious. Even some people preaching the philosophy of onion and garlic. It depends on what you want in devotional service. Do you want Krishna? Do you want Krishna Prem? Or you just want to be one of those people who just, church goer or temple goer? If you really want Krishna, you want love of Krishna, you have to follow strictly what Prabhupada has given us. And at the end, we will get there. Okay? So I know that Asha Mataji has already pinning her. So let us tell her to bring the hand down so that.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. That was very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for that, Prabhu. I've been really meditating on that because I don't want to be offensive because I am very picky person. But then I don't want to disrespect the devotees, so I try to eat. But then I feel bad because I felt it's not that I disrespect them. It's just like I don't know what sadhana they're going. So I kind of like not sure if I can trust them in that sense. But then you actually like explain this, so it kind of like make me understand that it's not offensive to say no to the food that you're not comfortable. Even the devotees cook for it. So I mean, like you can be respectful, right? But you can say no and it's not an offense. So at least it's clear for
Yeah,
me.
it's very simple. See, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we hear you.
Yes, bro.
It's very simple. Somebody cook, you are not comfortable with them, or you are not comfortable. That does not mean you have to be, very gross about it. So if you don't feel comfortable with somebody's consciousness, it's okay. Just say, "Oh, I'm very full." Thank you very much. Okay, you pay respect. I'm full. I'm satisfied. Oh, no, take little. Oh, no. Then you do like Indians. Just take one grain. Okay. Put it on your head.
And then Prabhuji,
At least that
so
one
what
grain
if,
will not destroy.
and then Prabhuji, what
Is
if
there?
you eat already the food? How to counteract the consciousness of those people?
Oh,
If,
network is really disturbing now. You say what? I'm not saying
for example, you already eat
the network
and
is disturbing now.
and then you don't hear
Right?
anymore.
I didn't get you because network fluctuating.
For example, you already eat the prasadam. How can you counteract the negative thoughts that these devotees are thinking? Like, just chant the rounds like that? If you already eat.
There's nothing you can do. Many of us actually we eat bread from outside also. We buy all this thing and eat. Do we know the consciousness of those who cook that food?
That's
So
true.
we should not be. Sometimes we are very strict with devotees, but we don't follow even to the details also. So if you want to really follow to the details, you have to really be serious. Not that you go and buy bread outside, and then when you come to temple, you start selecting devotee, you become offensive because you are not following strictly. You see eat bread from outside, you see buy biscuits from outside, you see eat all these things from outside. Then when you come to the temple, who cooks? Yeah, that is hypocrite. That is a pure hypocrite. So if we really want to follow, then you have to follow strictly. So if you don't want to follow strictly, don't discriminate against devotee. Because even those people that are making the bread that you are eating, they are even more worse than the devotee. You didn't get that point? You didn't get that point? I'm not hearing you.
Yes,
Prabhu, the net,
Prabhu.
Yeah, my
Yeah, you're
network was
trying to say
fluctuating.
that eating boga is worse. Yes, we understand.
Yeah, I'm saying that those who are making that bread, they are even more worse than devotee. So if you are still eating those ones, don't come to temple and discriminate against devotee. Then you're very offensive. You get the point?
Yes, thank
yes,
you.
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
So only until you are strict of not eating anything outside, then you can be strict with devotees. That is the goal.
We
That
should
is the
start
goal.
eating
Okay?
boga totally. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, once you stop eating boga totally, then you can be strict with who cooks in the temple. If you are not doing that, my sister, better to eat that food that cooked by a devotee whose consciousness is not proper than to eat the one that you don't even know their consciousness. Okay. So we stop here. We already gone very, very high ahead of time. So thank you very much. Vanchaka Patarubiascha. Kripa Sindubia Ivacha. Pajitana Pavaneva Vaishnavi Namo. So see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Now the rain is falling everywhere. So please be careful and stay safe. Hare Krishna.
Take care. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Prabhu.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Take care, everyone. Hare
See you tomorrow.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.